zu viel vor, zu viel zu lernen, zu viel zu sehen, um mich über die Vergangenheit zu ärgern.
When I first met André, I was married to Frank Sinatra. He used to play André's piano music. He just thought you were excellent. If you had a party, you put on the André Previn tape.
I used to play his records at parties too.
And then he had a picture of you at 15, and he's singing on the radio, and you were playing at the piano. Something's radio hour, you know, whatever the thing was.
The old gold hour, it was
The
called.
old gold hour, is that right?
Yeah.
And I thought one incarnation was as a jazz pianist, and then everybody knew you, when I met you, you were a composer for films.
Yeah.
That's how I met you. Then I meet you in London, and your conductor...
I had the LSO already.
It was just coming.
Yeah.
It was in that time of just happening with the LSO. And so you were beginning a career and learning an immense repertoire. You were just 40 and just beginning an entirely new career, so that you were learning all the time. I remember with the headphones, I remember you with scores. I remember thinking, oh, it's hopeless, I'll never get to know him. He's busy, busy all the time.
The thing about you that amazes me is, first of all, you could have had the most amazing career just composing, just doing that. And here you're this great conductor, pianist, and jazz pianist, and arranger. I mean, I can't think of anyone else in history who's as multi-talented.
In history?
Take
it easy.
Multi-talented as you are. Name somebody.
So you had your jazz, like you could talk to jazz pianists and like totally American, like, hey man kind of stuff. Smoke a little weed with people, whatever. Then the next thing you know, you're like Sir André of the, and I swear to
Both
God,
Roger.
you got an English accent. I swear to God, a slight English accent, Sir André. And it was a lot of Elgar and all this stuff. And now you're back here, and now you're writing operas.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's never too late to start something new.
it's pretty amazing when you can
No,
think
it
of all
never
these,
is.
how you've morphed into all these.
Yeah, but I think the minute you say, well, I like what I'm doing, so I'm just going to keep doing it, that's when you get old and stale. I think you always have to gamble. I just always wanted to do something else and try something new and learn something
You know,
new.
it's pretty brave.
Goddamn right it is. Yes.
Almost crazy.
Yes, I agree with you.
You know?
Ich war einmal, wie alt wäre ich gewesen, wollen wir sagen 13 oder so, da habe ich zum ersten Mal gehört das Bartók-Orchesterkonzert und kam einfach erschlagen zurück ins Haus und habe gesagt, Papa, ich habe das schönste Stück gehört, das du je in deinem Leben und so weiter. Und ich habe da so geschwärmt, dass er gesagt hat, morgen wird es wiederholt, ich gehe auch hin. Wir gehen nochmal. Kannst du es nochmal ertragen? Habe ich gesagt, oh ja, und wie? Und da sind wir hingegangen. Und ich war genauso entzückt wie am vorigen Tag. Und wie es vorbei war, dreht er sich zu mir um und sagt, na, also die Eroica ist es nicht. Ich meine, ich war zu jung, um zu sagen, es soll ja auch nicht die Eroica sein. Er war sehr erfolgreich als Rechtsanwalt. Und ich meine, ich bin aufgewachsen mit Musik im Haus immerzu. Und er hat mir einen Riesengefallen getan. Er war ein großer Gläubiger an Prima Vista, an vom Blattlesen. Und wir hatten vierhändig die ganze symphonische Literatur. Ich musste mit ihm mehrere Mal die Woche, beinahe jeden Abend, vom Blatt irgendwas spielen. Mozart, Haydn, Schumann, Schubert. Und so habe ich die großen Symphonien kennengelernt zuerst. Ich ging selbst als kleines Kind oft in die Philharmonie und in die Oper und ich war es gewöhnt.
Ich glaube, dass das sehr prägt.
Oh ja, und man bewundert dann auch, anstatt so Fußballer mit in kurzen Hosen, dann bewundert man einen Dirigenten, einen Pianisten, einen Violinisten. Das hilft schon.
Aber ich glaube, da ist der Einfluss des Elternhauses enorm groß. Denn wenn die Eltern das bewundern und dich reinschleppen, und ich glaube, dein Vater hat ja auch mit dir eine Weile, als du ganz klein warst, Klavier vierhändig, Opernauszüge
beinahe jeden
gespielt.
Abend. Ich weiß noch genau, zum Beispiel bei der Pastoral, wo man umdrehen muss.
Ja. Drehst du heute da noch rum im Geist? Klavier vierhändig anstatt Orchesterpartitur. Peinlich.
Und so habe ich das Repertoire gelernt.
Aha.
Und das hilft natürlich
Luxus.
genau.
Ja. Denn alles, was man so früh lernt, ich finde, das sitzt auch ganz anders. Nicht, dass man seinen Viewpoint nicht ändert, aber technisch, also ich weiß nicht, ob dir das am Klavier so geht, was du als ganz kleiner, sagen wir mal, bis zum 15. Lebensjahr gespielt hast, das ist doch abrufbar sehr wahrscheinlich, bis man umfällt.
Ja,
und später,
ziemlich.
Sehr wahrscheinlich, weil auch so eine Masse hinzukommt, es sitzt nie mehr so tief im Unterbewusstsein, nicht mehr so reflexartig. Also jetzt im guten Sinne reflexartig.
Ja.
André once told me when he was a little boy and he was 10 years old, yet another André, and you have to see those photographs. See how sensitive he was? In the parks, there were signs that said, no bicycles or Jews. And I think that André, who left Berlin in the middle of the night with his family in haste, had to wonder, what's wrong with being Jewish? Or being a bicycle? You know, but to absorb that and understand the consequences of what happened to so many of the relatives, I think being Jewish, a lot of the complexity of that, and I'm not at all Jewish, but I have observed many different reactions to being Jewish.
Ja, und ich meine, wir sind wirklich über Nacht weggefahren. Und zwar nach Paris und mit keinen, nicht so mit Koffern und Möbel und so, nein. Nur als ob wir für ein Wochenende fahren. Denn das konnte noch nicht verboten werden, weil der Krieg ja noch nicht angefangen hatte. Und wir sind einfach in Nacht und Nebel sind wir losgefahren und kamen an in Paris und sind dann da geblieben, ein Jahr.
I think of André very much as the child who left in the middle of the night, and that your dad was a lawyer. Some SS man said, Herr Previn, do you recognize me? And he said no, and they said, well, you defended me at one point, and I'm coming back here tonight to do you a favor, take your family and flee.
No.
Now. Don't even go to the bank, just take, as if you're going for a weekend, go to Paris, leave now.
Wie der Flieger gelandet hat, wussten wir nicht, ist es wirklich in Frankreich oder sind wir irgendwie umgedreht worden und mussten zurück nach Berlin. Und da ging die Tür auf und zwei Beamte kamen rein und haben Französisch gesprochen. Und die Erleichterung war enorm.
Under those very dramatic circumstances, André came through Paris all the way ultimately to California.
My father, who was a very successful solicitor, made a lot of money and had a lot of clients and worked at the court and was a judge. And all of a sudden, overnight, here he is, no job, no language, didn't speak English, and a family to support. And he somehow managed it. And he became the kind of neighborhood piano teacher because he could play the piano a little bit. Yeah. And I suddenly realized what an extraordinary act of courage that was. And I hadn't appreciated it at the time at all. Ich konnte ja keine Silbe Englisch, wie ich da ankam. Und da hat mein Vater darauf bestanden, dass ich einfach in eine normale Schule gehe. Und meine Mutter hat gesagt, wie soll er das machen? Er versteht doch nichts. Er wird's lernen. Und er hatte vollkommen recht. Ich fand es furchtbar gemein, aber er hatte vollkommen recht. Ich bin in die Schule gegangen und die Lehrerin hat mir was gesagt am ersten Tag und ich habe sie einfach angelächelt. Ich habe nichts verstanden, kein Wort. Aber es hat nicht lange gedauert. Und meine Mutter plötzlich sagt ihr Mann und 2 Kinder, was gibt's zum Abendessen? Das ist eine Frage, die sie noch nie gefragt wurden. Nie. Wir hatten einen Koch und wir hatten ein Stubenmädchen und so. Und plötzlich musste sie in die Küche und improvisieren. Und die ersten paar Mahlzeiten waren wirklich interessant. Wir wussten nie, was wir essen.
You came from Germany, you went to America, then you were sort of an honorary Englishman. In fact, you got an honorary English knighthood. To me, you're definitely an American.
Yeah.
And the reason is, the central reason, that your humor is American. I love American humor, and you are there. You are actually part of that. Mm-hmm. You're not really an English humorist. I don't know anything about German humorists, but I do know about American humor. I've loved it since I was a child, and there are few people that I know, very few people I know, who absolutely do it. They just do it for me, and that makes you American. I mean, you must be a hell of a guy at adjusting, or do you feel at home some places and not at home in other places now?
Well, it depends a lot on what I'm there for. You know, if I'm there for work reasons and I like the work, right, then I get along very quickly.
At rehearsal, is it too serious for jokes, or
no.
do you?
No.
What kind of atmosphere do you like?
I like the atmosphere that says that when we are actually playing, when we're trying to get something straight in the way of playing it, then it really is serious. Then I don't want anybody, throwing water bombs. But if it's the periphery, can be as silly as you like.
Right.
I don't mind that at all. Bim, bam, bim, bam. Okay, können Sie woanders sitzen? Okay, Ziffer 2. I don't see any reason when you are with 100 musicians and you're all after the same thing, and you're all working pretty hard and using your knowledge, if you like, why, once that knowledge has been demonstrated, why you can't be lighthearted about it. I enjoy that. I like that much better. Sehr gut. The Vienna Philharmonic, when you have a rehearsal, they rehearse in suits. They come in, they wear suits, shirts and ties. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And that in turn influences the way I would talk to them from the podium.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The whole atmosphere changes
But you don't think that that's maybe because they're Viennese and it's a little
Sure,
more,
that's
right?
what I'm saying.
Right.
It changed it with the geography. Well, it was a lot of traveling, and I had to leave a lot, which was tough.
It was tough, but I mean, I think that when you left, it was understandable. You know, I mean, I certainly understand it now more than ever. Being a musician, the cost
You
of
also
doing
always
that.
knew I was coming back.
Yeah, certainly.
That's something that a lot of...
Or I was going wherever you were eventually, so it wasn't a big deal.
You liked London a lot.
Love London, yeah.
And you loved the Far East, because we went there twice together. 3 times.
3 times.
And you really enjoyed that. I did too. I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, Japan was amazing. And I remember in Japan, you had that concert. It was Julie Andrews, Natalie Cole, and
the NHK Symphony.
the NHK Symphony.
Yeah.
And I remember standing in the wings, and how old was I? 12, maybe
Yeah.
13. And Julie Andrews sang Edelweiss, and I cried like a little girl.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know why. I mean, it's such a schmaltzy song. Who knows
Yeah.
why I liked it so much at the time? But that is a memory of traveling that I will never forget.
I was born in Berlin, but I have no particular ties there.
Yeah.
I lived in London for 20 years. Yes, I do have ties there, but I don't consider that that's rock home base. Nor, I guess the closest I can come to feeling at home, really at home, is New York.
Me too, certainly.
Yeah. When you, I can't take my eyes off this for the moment. I've never seen you under the lights in a short-sleeved shirt with all that stuff on. How old are these 2 tattoos?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about how early I got tattooed, it's probably going to be a little surprising to you, but I was
3. No,
4. No, 15 was when I got my first one. And if you see this thick black outline around most tattoos, do you see what I'm saying? Like everything has like a kind of bold, cartoony outline. And that's the most painful part because it's the sharpest part of the needle, and they're so condensed in the cluster. And it feels like a bee sting or a
but
fork
it feels
being
like
rubbed against your skin.
1,000 bee stings, doesn't it?
Sure, but I mean, they start and you go, pardon my French, holy shit, this hurts.
Yeah. Late 60s, 70s, beginning of the 80s, I was here. And I had a beautiful country house.
I remember that beautiful house.
Wonderful.
It was very, very English.
Very.
I think you took to the Englishness of it because
Oh, yeah.
it was the sort of Shakespeare slept here kind of house,
Yes,
wasn't it?
and I loved it here. I just loved it. I knew perfectly well, knowing you, that is a house you would
It
love.
was a house I loved.
And you did.
It was a great house.
Well, and there were 19 acres of woods.
Yeah, the woods.
So that was really
woods.
great. You
With
could
the
walk and
double-decker
walk and
bus.
walk and never leave
Right.
the grounds.
Mom, how did you and Pop meet? I don't know the story. And when?
I met your father. I was going out with somebody else, and he was married to somebody else, and we came over to their house, that being Andre and his then wife.
Yeah.
That would have been his probably 4th wife,
And this was
or was
where?
that me? Anyway,
That was
I was
you.
not the first,
This
or
is
the
in
second,
England.
or the third. But anyway, it was another wife. And I was over there and thought nothing of it. I mean, had a thoroughly good time because I was in love with somebody else. And then years later, he was living in London, and we ran into each other at a party. And I was free, and he said he was free, and he was very hot. And I totally fell for him. I barely knew him, like for a month.
You mean you barely knew me and there you were pregnant?
Yes.
It's an interesting way to put it, but yes, I know what you mean. All right.
So then we got a house in England. Oh my God, not only is it someone that I don't know, but he's got a house I haven't seen. Things are getting scarier by the moment.
It's weird for me because I remember exactly carrying him around that way. Oh.
She's sleepy.
Little baby.
How old is the baby now?
She is, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16 weeks, 3.5 months.
16 weeks.
Yep.
Well, getting to be an old lady. That's a big baby.
You think so?
I know
She's bigger
so.
than I was?
She's bigger than you are now. Yes.
So what do you have? What's your earliest memory? Do you have an earliest?
My earliest memory, I guess, is in England, walking around outside, going for walks, getting lost. Remember we'd get lost on purpose?
You'd love it. I remember I was in the car driving, and you'd sit next to me and say, "Oh, Pop, please get lost, please get lost," because you loved driving around not knowing where we were.
We did a lot of traveling as kids even, and to this day I hate traveling. Everybody else is all excited to go somewhere.
You used to see suitcases and go to pieces when you were a little baby. You just look at the suitcases and start crying.
Yeah. I still don't like traveling. Everyone I know is all excited to go, you know, oh great, we're gonna, I would just much rather stay at home.
There's nothing glamorous about traveling if you do too much of it. Because your life becomes an airport. Ich hatte angefangen, die LSO, die London Symphony Orchestra, zu leiten als Gastdirigent. Es war meiner Meinung nach das beste Orchester, das ich je gehört habe an der Zeit, und beinahe noch immer. Und eines Tages kam eine kleine Gruppe von ihnen zu meinen Zimmern in dem Savoy Hotel und haben ganz feierlich mir angeboten, ich soll Chef werden. Und ich konnte es gar nicht glauben. Das war sehr mutig von ihnen. Und ich war 10,5 Jahre war ich Chef. Ich meine, bin mit ihnen, ich weiß nicht, 10-mal um die Welt gefahren.
I mean, one of the first things we did in the early 70s was endless tours of American universities.
Yep.
6 concerts a week, 3.5 weeks on the road, 6 concerts a week, all by Greyhound bus.
That's right.
And, I mean, you presumably were offered limousines and stuff to travel in, but you elected to travel with the orchestra, so when we got off the bus after 6 hours, you felt as terrible as we did.
Oh, yeah.
So you actually sort of appreciated how we were feeling.
And now we have another famous person here from the world of music. Let's give a warm welcome to the principal conductor from the London Symphony Orchestra, Mr. André Previn. And ladies and gentlemen, Grieg's Piano Concerto, soloist Eric Morecambe, conductor Mr. Andrew Previn.
Anytime. Could I have a word with you, please? Look, you see, the point is, it's one of those. It's one of those things where... Has he gone? You see, I hope you don't mind me saying this. No. But when you got to the part which was my cue, I couldn't see you for the lid of the piano.
Yes.
The lid of the piano was in the way. I don't know what we can do about that. Well, I have a suggestion. Would you jump up in the air? So I can see you over the lid of the piano. If you could jump up. You want me to actually jump into the air on the rostrum in order so you can see my cue? Do that. Yes, I'll do that for you.
I'll announce it again.
Yes, he's a nice man, isn't he?
Isn't he?
I like him.
He's very good. Grieg by With Him and Him.
I spent a lot of my time with you laughing, actually, André.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how
yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I think you actually had me on the floor of a restaurant once. I'm not going to go into this now.
No, don't.
I remember you actually saying something very like, listen, if you ever need a symphony orchestra for one of your plays, I've got one. And I remember...
You can't come up with that line too often.
No, it's a good line. And whatever I said, I remember thinking, yes is a good answer here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a bit of a tart, really, and I like the idea of doing something which was off the wall and doing something which nobody had done. And I don't think I'd ever seen a play which involved a symphony orchestra.
Yeah.
So I said, fine, great. And then you had to wait for how long?
A long time.
Well, you probably get an awful lot of people who start referring to your very early work when you literally were a teenager and you were composing music.
Yeah.
Is that something which you look back on with pleasure and nostalgia?
I don't look at it with I don't think pleasure is the right word, but I don't mind. I mean, I remember it as being the instrument of great fun. You know, as you well know, I did a lot of movies, and I was successful at it. I was making a lot of money, and I'd won all those Oscars.
You should get your Oscars back. Which wife has the Oscars? You should get them.
I thought it was you.
André,
No.
I would never take anything.
No. I have 1 out of 4. I don't know where the other
But the
3
kids
are.
would love them. Archie would love them.
I know, it's pretty amazing to lose 3 Oscars.
Mark and Daisy would love them. They were asking about them.
No, I want them back.
You should get them back.
Anyway.
Do a wife check. Start with all of them. Get them back.
The winner is André Previn for My Fair Lady.
I'm very grateful to Alan Lerner and Fritz Lowe, and Mr. Cukor and Mr. Warner, of course, and the many people who helped me. And I also want to pay tribute to the marvelous orchestra that played the score so beautifully. And of course, above all, I thank all of you.
Ja, ich habe 4-mal den Oscar gewonnen. Und das letzte Mal war für My Fair Lady. Und es existierte für Orchester, aber nur in der Fassung für ein Grabenorchester auf der Bühne. Und das musste alles geändert werden auf ein Riesenorchester und natürlich andere Sänger. Und dann war eine Masse Background-Musik da in dem Film und das musste ich alles schaffen.
Was mich wahnsinnig interessiert.
Was?
Und dich bestimmt sehr stört, aber ich hoffe...
Oh boy, ich kann kaum warten.
Bei Filmmusik. Ich meine, was ist zuerst da? Der Film, du schaust dir den Film an und da musst du für jede Szene die passende Musik komponieren, in der richtigen Länge?
Ja, genau. In der richtigen Länge ist überhaupt... ich meine, sehr oft, man kriegt einen Breakdown.
Du bekommst den fertig geschnittenen Film oder nur die Szene?
Erst sehe ich ihn mir an. Dann versuche ich ihn nicht zu schreiben.
Genau, dann sagst du, der Film ist Mist.
Ja, und dann sehe ich ihn mir noch ein paar Mal an. Und dann gehe ich in einen Projection Room mit einem Assistenten und ich diktiere ihm, während der Film läuft. Aha. Hier will ich anfangen, da will ich aufhören, in jeder Szene.
Aha, verstehe. Ach so, weil die Musik geht nicht unbedingt immer die ganze Zeit durch.
Um Gottes Willen. Nein,
so als Teppich.
Das würde dich verrückt machen. Naja, aber ich meine, die Filmmusik heutzutage ist ja, ich meine, das Leitmotiv...
Wenn du das gefunden hast, bist du gemacht, da waren die nächsten 2 Stunden.
Gott, ich meine zum Beispiel der Film Titanic.
Ja.
Dieselben 16 dämlichen Takte wurden 100-mal hintereinander gespielt.
Ja, es wurde ein Welterfolg.
Ich weiß, aber deswegen.
Aber es gibt ja auch sehr gute Filmmusik.
Oh ja. Nicht ganz. Nee, da war alles in Ordnung. Da war alles in Ordnung. Hier.
Habe ich das zu kurz gespielt?
Ja.
Okay, lass uns das nochmal machen von hier.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Didn't recognize you in your very elegant outfit. Okay, wollen wir gehen? Mal los.
Okay.
Ja,
Viel Spaß. Ich hoffe, ich komme mit dem Kleid hier.
Ja.
Wenn ich komponiere, zum Beispiel in dem Violinkonzert für dich, das ist ein sehr europäisches Stück.
Ja.
Aber manchmal...
Du zitierst doch gerne Strauss.
Oh, das nennt man Clown. Das nennt man Clown.
Kein Wunder, dass es europäisch klingt.
Ja, ja.
Aber es ist eindeutig du. Das ist eines der ganz großen modernen Violinkonzerte.
Erst kam der Auftrag von der Boston Symphony, irgendwas zu schreiben. Und ich habe gesagt, ich will ein Geigkonzert schreiben. Und haben sie gesagt, sehr gut, sehr schön. Und danach der Gedanke, dass es für dich ist.
Ist ja logisch, ich bin ja der einzige Geiger. Vielen Dank. Jawohl.
So sagst du mir immer.
Okay,
also das ist,
dazu sagst du immer.
Und dann habe ich es geschrieben. Und die Sache mit dem Zug war ganz interessant. Wir waren beide
Das ist der letzte Satz, der dritte Satz.
Ja, wir waren auf einem Zug in Deutschland. Und mein Agent Ronald hat die Idee gehabt, vielleicht müsstest du irgendwie in dem Violinkonzert schreiben, dass es in einem Zug von Deutschland ist. Und du bist doch zurückgekommen nach Deutschland nach diesen ganzen Jahrzehnten und ich glaube Jahrhunderten. Und ich habe gesagt, ja. Und dann habe ich daran gedacht, dass der letzte Satz müsste ein deutsches Thema haben.
Ja, und ich kann mich noch erinnern, wie du mich gefragt hast nach Liederbüchern von meinen Kindern.
Ja, genau.
Und damals waren sie noch kleiner und wir hatten einen riesen Packen.
Ja, und du hast mir 3 geschickt. Und dieses eine, wie heißt das?
Wenn ich ein Vöglein wäre.
War nicht nur dein Lieblingslied, aber meins auch.
Ja.
Was in Deutschland los war, aber ich kann mich an das Entsetzliche von Berlin nicht erinnern, weil ich es nicht so empfand. Ich meine, ich war ein Kind, ich fand es alles abenteuerlich. Und der kleine Park, wo ich gespielt habe, der war 200 Meter von unserem Haus. Und da war ein Ententeich und da war ein kleiner Hügel. Und wenn es geschneit hat, bin ich mit dem Schlitten immer diesen Hügel runtergefahren. Okay. Jetzt bin ich zurück, 50 Jahre später, und es war Winter, und ich sehe in den Park, und da ist ein kleiner Junge, und der fährt auf seinem Schlitten den Hügel runter. Das war ein schlimmer Moment für mich. Und ich bin runtergegangen und habe den Kleinen aufgesucht und habe gesagt, darf ich mal? Und da hat er gesagt, ja, natürlich. Und ich bin einmal mit dem Schlitten den Hügel runtergekommen und habe ihm es zurückgegeben. Das war ein schöner Moment. I've driven you crazy over the years by insisting that the more you can learn on how to write something down so that it's legible and comprehensible to other people, the better off your compositions will be.
Right, no, certainly. I mean, I think that for me it's a different field because no one in my field writes anything down. I get thrown to the wolves all the time when I get a job because they say, here, learn this record. With nothing. I mean, I just have to listen to it and figure it out.
Yeah, but you have very good ears, so you can do it.
Well, I got them from those big ones on your side of your head. You know?
Maybe so, but I mean, a lot of kids who don't write it down also can't hear them.
Right.
I mean, they can hear them, but it takes a long time.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I've had to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
See, with me it was different because I had an absolutely straightforward classical education. And when I went to America first, I thought that jazz was, a hotel band and funny hats. What do I know? And a fella came over and said, listen to this and put on Sweet Lorraine. Now, I had a very methodical German father who was a music teacher, and he knew how much I admired it, so he said, of course, carrying the logic one step forward, learn that. See? So I learned Sweet Lorraine, I took it off the record, which took me maybe, 3 years. And having too good a time, humor me, play something with me, anything, something slow, easy, a scale.
like working just as a duo. You know, I mean, when you and I get off on a tangent, there's nobody else to get in the way.
Right.
First of all, you can't play jazz with enemies, I don't think.
True.
You really can't.
That's true.
And in that respect, it's like chamber music. You can't play chamber music with enemies either. And then the very nature of improvising is that kind of freedom. There's only so much inspiration and so much, you know, communing with heaven, and the rest of it is it's your gig.
It's the gig, right.
The nice thing about playing jazz, I think, is that unlike classical music, you are not basing it on the past, and you're not concerned about the future. It's just the present, that moment is what you're playing for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm conducting or playing, let's say, a Mozart symphony, I'm very aware of the past and what's happened since and this and that. And if it's a new piece, I sometimes think about where is this likely to go in another 10 years. But with jazz, no, it's right now.
It's right now.
I'm about 3/4 of the way through my second opera. It's gonna be good. You know that?
Sure.
No, I'm not sure, but I mean, I tell you what I like is the stuff I wrote very recently is better than the stuff I wrote when it started, and that's good.
Yeah.
It's much wilder, you know, but it's good. It's based on an old Noel Coward script in a David Lean film called Brief Encounter. So as melodramatic as Streetcar Named Desire was, that's how calm this is. But at this moment, I'm about 2 weeks away from having finished. And then I'll be finished with that second opera. It won't be put on until a year from now.
I hope Renee does it. I love Renee. As a person, I love her. Not only professionally. Of course, I worship her professionally, but I just love her as a person.
I mean, I'd enjoy it.
I love it.
You know, especially when you go Hermione. If your music comes on the radio within 3 bars, I know it's you. You have a musical language that's uniquely yours.
You couldn't tell me anything I'd like to hear more.
Yeah,
That's really
you
very
have your
nice.
own specific language, and very few people do. Very few.
I have some jewelry from Asprey tonight, but you know, do you think it's big enough?
So why do you love the female voice so much? Because you've done so much
Because it
writing.
comes out of girls. Right? That's why.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's honest. You
No.
like women. We love that.
I like writing for the female voice.
All right, 2 sopranos and Streetcar as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And we had so much fun doing Streetcar, too. Being in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Just a great time. It's not always that way. You know, people get very tense when a premiere occurs, and there's so much pressure, and the world press comes. I mean, that was the biggest event I've ever experienced in opera.
Yeah, it was huge.
I have to say this because it's kind of cute, is you know, Streetcar Named Desire takes place in New Orleans, and I said, oh, how wonderful, you can kind of bring in your jazz background. And you said, oh, absolutely, there won't be a single note that's going to sound like jazz. And of course, the first chord is,
oh, yeah, well.
you know, with the trumpets and all the brass, and we all thought, yeah, right. Because it sounds like New Orleans, and then you've got this, and you also bring this kind of German, you know, Austrian expressionism, kind of turn of the century feel to it as well. And I think one of the things that makes this voice so unique is that the two worlds blend so well.
Sure. I mean, I'm writing another opera now, and I haven't conducted in about 3 months, and that helps.
That helps you to stay
Yeah, because I'm just about finished with it now, yeah.
Can you talk about the opera at all, the new one?
What do you mean how long will it take me to finish it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or to write it in general.
Well, I've another 3 weeks now, be all finished. But then I got to go back to page 1 and orchestrate it. You know.
Okay.
So I wrote it in short score. But John Cairn, who is my librettist, he's the head of the National Theatre in London, and he's here for a while to work with me.
She picks up the wedding photograph.
A flat, which is the highest she sings.
Ah, that's interesting.
And here too, swept over me.
Yeah.
Swept over me. So that's, she's really shouting on that.
That's wonderful. I can't say that I'd heard every piece that André's ever written. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. I wonder whether André's ever heard every piece he's ever written. His output is so prodigious. He gave me a copy of his opera, Streetcar Named Desire, which I listened to obviously with great interest because he has written so much of his emotional music from Streetcar, obviously has a relationship in a way with Brief Encounter. It's about people stuck in impossible situations, in deeply emotional circumstances. It's about complicated relationships. So in that sense, the two pieces are cousins. And of course, now we've got a bit further with the work, and he's looking at it very critically, because it was some of his first inspirations, some of which were absolutely perfect and completely unthrowable away. Other bits of it, he's saying, no, this is going straight in the trash can. And I'm saying, oh God, are you sure? He said, no, it's best to start again. You know, and I love that rigor in him, you know, that he's not precious about something. If it doesn't feel exactly right, then there's a better idea around the corner that needs to be discovered.
Until she runs out of steam. And so this is the end of Act 1.
Yeah, I think that has to be. I don't think there's a more sensible place than putting the end.
No, okay.
Es kann ein bisschen mehr involviert, ein bisschen zorniger. Es ist einfach. Nee, so will ich es nicht. Noch einmal. Ja, genau.
There's one question I would have asked you, but
it's not about me.
Yeah,
it's about you.
No, it's about you. No,
what is it?
I just wanted to know with how much of an eye you write for the future and how much for right now.
I'm afraid, I think I've always thought, you know, if it's just for now and it's over, then it's not good enough.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow, eh?
Oh, that's right. Okay. I've always been able to talk to you. Not so much, you know, parentally, but like friends.
I've always considered you one of my best friends. It's actually bizarre because I don't know if you remember this, but up until about 12 years old, I wasn't allowed to listen to any rock music at all. Nothing. I mean, which is so incredible why you're okay with me having full sleeves of tattoos now, considering that before I was 12, Leanne had to sneak me, you know, double cassettes of the Who's Quadrophenia, and I'd lock myself in the bathroom and listen to it, petrified you'd find out, you know?
Well, you were right, they would have thrown out. Yeah, no, well, that comes from my own lack of information about it. I didn't understand it, and I got defensive and said, I don't want to understand it.
Well,
you know.
I've got a story for you that I don't know if you'll remember, but in the living room in Bedford, one night you and Mom had gone to bed, and my secret desire to be a rock musician took over me, and I remember playing my nylon string, a classical guitar, because I wasn't even allowed to have an electric guitar for a while. And I think that I was like dancing around the living room, pretending to be a rock star with it. And you walked in and lost your mind. If I ever see you playing a guitar that way again, I'll smash it on the ground, etc.
I did that?
Yeah, which
What
is
an idiotic thing to do.
Right, now I'm saying it's amazing how things have turned around completely because it was such a conservatory.
Now I dance around the room and you come in and say...
Right, yeah, no more playing the piano like
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis, yeah.
I really had totally blocked that. I don't remember that at all.
Well,
it's
I
a
did.
dreadful story.
No, it's not a dreadful story because really, if anything, it encouraged me to do what I'm doing now more. I mean, in a rebellious sense.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm glad it happened. I certainly wouldn't take it back if I had the choice. No way.
I did not get along with my father very well. He always was telling me, oh, you'll never get ready, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. And I was always being pushed under with a thumb.
Gosh. Is it weird having us as parents?
I think everybody thinks their parents are probably unusual, but when I was growing up, there's a lot going on at once. We have a big family, we have a multicultural family, we have adopted brothers and sisters, and then both parents are very well known, so...
I already know how it is, because
Yeah.
my mom was well known.
Exactly, and that was so it's you, Pop, Grandma, and so there's
In fact, we'd watch the old Tarzan movies and say, look, kids, there's Grandma in the trees.
yeah, you don't really...
Did you really do that?
Yeah, but you don't even think about that being
Like,
unusual until you're...
But could you
much older.
identify that woman in the tree was your grandmother?
It's a
I
little
think so,
abstract, but yeah, they just took it for granted.
You just
It's
accept
Grandma.
If
that.
I'd seen my grandmother in a tree, I wouldn't have put it together. Es gibt Dirigentenkollegen, die sehr disziplinarisch arbeiten und die schaffen eine Masse. Und wahrscheinlich schneller als ich. Aber ich kann so nicht arbeiten. Ich muss unter Kollegen sein und nicht so als Schullehrer. Das geht für mich nicht.
Let me ask you a question because but I feel very kind of positive about classical music. What is your feeling about it?
I've never felt doom and gloom about classical music. No. I know it's fashionable almost, to clothe it all in the purple of mourning. But I don't think so.
You don't think it's dying, no?
No. And I think that it's true that audiences are getting smaller and smaller, but they're not getting older and older. I see an awful lot of young people at concerts.
Obwohl du sehr europäisch bist, finde ich, und auch sehr gute deutsche Eigenschaften in dir trägst, die du weiter pflegen musst.
Ja.
Ich glaube, du bist sehr stark verwurzelt in Amerika. Und es ist eine Stadt. Und ich glaube, warum die Hektik von New York dir zum Beispiel nicht so auf die Nerven geht wie mir. Also nach ein paar Wochen, ich finde New York irrsinnig spannend, aber nach einigen Wochen möchte ich wieder zurück nach Europa, weil ich schon von Natur aus jemand bin, der extrem geladen ist und extrem schnell und hyperactive. Und dann noch in einer Stadt, die kocht, das ist einfach zu viel. Während du eher ein Mensch bist, der reflektiert, der, glaube ich, das Brausen um sich herum braucht, weil er selber nicht immer braust.
And I'm very at home in Germany, but I suppose England, as far as being across the Atlantic is concerned, is my favorite country there to work in.
It's your second home? Would you call it your second home?
My second home, yes, but my first home is America, and I've come to realize that I am just too American to think anything else.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I like being here.
Yeah.